I pull into the loading dock at Gentech Biosolutions just after dawn. The truck's diesel engine rattles down to silence, and I'm already unbuckling, clipboard in hand, thinking about the breakfast burrito I'm going to grab once this load is secured. Standard Tuesday. Chemical transport run from their research facility outside Pittsburgh to the distribution center in Columbus. I've been doing this route for 3 years now. Same company, same heavy-duty Kenworth, same bland industrial park that smells like rubber and cleaning solution. The loading crew is already waiting. 2 guys I recognize, Dale and someone new whose name I don't catch. Dale gives me a nod. I hand over the paperwork and pop the trailer doors. They wheel out the pallet jack and start bringing drums from the warehouse. Big industrial containers, sealed tight. Labels I can't read because they use those code systems, numbers and letters. Nothing that tells you what's actually inside. I'm doing the walk-around inspection on the truck when I hear it. Metal scraping. Then a thud. Not a loud crash, but that specific sound of something heavy hitting pavement wrong. I turn around and see Dale looking down at the ground. The new guy is standing there frozen. One of the drums is on its side, the lid partially dislodged. There's liquid pooling on the concrete. Dark, almost black, but with this weird greenish tint when the light hits it. "Shit," Dale says. Just that. He looks at the new guy. "Get the spill kit." The new guy doesn't move fast enough, and Dale barks it again. I walk closer. The smell hits me before I'm even within 10 feet. Chemical burn in my nostrils. Sweet, but wrong. Like fruit left to rot in antifreeze. I stop walking. Dale is already grabbing absorbent pads from the emergency station mounted on the warehouse wall. The new guy comes back with a rolling bucket and more supplies. They're working fast. Too fast. Dale keeps glancing at the security camera mounted above the loading bay. The liquid is thick. It doesn't spread like water. It kind of sits there in this viscous pool, shimmering. I watch them throw down the absorbent pads, and they soak it up but slowly, like the stuff resists being cleaned. "We good?" I ask. Dale doesn't look at me. "Yeah, just a spill. Happens." But his voice is tight. The new guy won't make eye contact at all. They get most of it cleaned up. Scrape the pads into a hazmat bag. Seal it. Dale rights the drum, and they check the lid. It's damaged. Dented on one side. He looks at it for a long moment, then signals to the new guy, and they load it onto the truck anyway. I should say something. I know I should. But I don't. Because I need this job, and because making waves with a biotech company over a spill that's already cleaned up seems like a good way to get blacklisted from these high-paying contracts. So I just watch them finish loading. 6 drums total. They secure them. Dale signs off on the manifest, hands it to me. His hand is shaking slightly. "Drive safe," he says. I climb back into the cab. Fire up the engine. The whole time I'm pulling out of the facility, I keep thinking about that smell, about the way the liquid moved. I crack the window even though it's cold outside because I swear I can still smell it. Probably just in my head. Probably just paranoid. The drive is uneventful. I stop at a truck stop outside Wheeling to grab coffee and take a leak. The radio is playing classic rock. Everything feels normal. I deliver the load in Columbus by early afternoon, unhook the trailer. The receiving crew there doesn't mention anything wrong with the shipment. I do the paperwork. Head back empty. 3 days later, I'm home in my apartment outside Harrisburg, watching the evening news while eating leftover Chinese food straight from the container. The anchor is talking about a localized health scare in Pittsburgh. Workers at a biotech facility reporting flu-like symptoms. 11 people admitted to hospitals. Health officials investigating potential chemical exposure. I set down the food container. My stomach goes cold. The news switches to footage of Gentech Biosolutions. The same facility, and the same loading dock where I was parked. They're showing people in hazmat suits going in and out. The scroll at the bottom of the screen says, "Developing story. Biotech workers hospitalized. Cause unknown." I grab my phone and pull up the route logs. Check the date. Yeah, that was the day. The spill. Dale and the new guy cleaning it up fast and quiet and loading the damaged drum anyway. My hands are shaking now. I try to tell myself it's not connected. Coincidence. But I remember Dale's face. The way he kept looking at that security camera. The way neither of them would look at me after. I checked the news obsessively for the next 2 days. The story grows. Now it's 18 workers sick, then 25. They're calling it an unknown pathogen. Potential viral outbreak. The CDC is involved. Gentech releases a statement saying they're cooperating fully with investigators and that there's no danger to the public. But on day 4, the story changes. The anchor's face is different now. Serious in a way that makes your guts twist. 3 of the hospitalized workers have died. The others are showing neurological symptoms, aggression, confusion. 1 attacked a nurse, had to be restrained. The hospital is in lockdown. I'm standing in my kitchen at 11 at night watching this on my laptop. My heart is hammering so hard, I can feel it in my throat. I think about that liquid, that smell, the way it sat on the concrete like something alive. The next morning, I wake up to my phone buzzing. News alerts. The situation in Pittsburgh has escalated. The hospital where the workers were being treated had some kind of security breach overnight. Details are unclear, but there are reports of multiple casualties. Police are responding. The National Guard has been activated. I sit on the edge of my bed, reading update after update. My mouth is dry. The news sites are struggling to keep up. Conflicting reports. Some saying it's a riot. Others saying it's a mass casualty event. One Twitter video that loads slowly on my phone shows the outside of the hospital. Ambulances, police cars everywhere. Lights flashing. Someone screaming in the background of the recording. By noon, the footage starts getting worse. News helicopters are up now, aerial shots of the hospital. People running. I watch someone tackle someone else in the parking lot. And the camera is too far away to see details, but the way they move. Jerky. Wrong. The anchor says the word for the first time around 2 in the afternoon. Infected. Not sick. Infected. They're calling it an infection now. Spreading through contact. The hospital is completely overrun. Police are setting up barricades, reports of similar incidents at other medical facilities. The workers who got sick, their family members, people they came into contact with. I watch a press conference where a CDC official with exhausted eyes says they're working to identify the pathogen, that people should remain calm, avoid contact with anyone showing symptoms. Symptoms include fever, aggression, seizures, and altered mental state. I know what this is. I've seen enough movies. Read enough books. But it's different when it's real. When it's on the actual news with real shaky footage and real people screaming. That night, I can't sleep. I keep refreshing news sites. The infection is spreading, not just Pittsburgh anymore. Cases reported in surrounding counties, then in Ohio, then West Virginia. The progression is too fast, exponential. They're saying it spreads through bodily fluids, bites, scratches, that the infected become violent within hours. By morning, the president is on television. Emergency declaration. Shelter-in-place orders for the affected regions. Military mobilization. The stock market has crashed. International flights are being canceled. I stand in my apartment trying to process this. trying to understand that the world is ending because a drum fell off a pallet jack and some company tried to cover it up. I remember the stray cats, when I was standing by the truck while Dale cleaned up the spill and I saw them. 3 or 4 scraggly things that lived around the industrial park. They came sniffing around the loading dock. One of them walked right through where the spill had been before Dale got it all cleaned up. Tracked wet paw prints across the concrete. I didn't think anything of it then. Now I'm wondering if that was the start. If those cats spread it to other animals. To people. If it started even before the workers got sick. The news confirms it 36 hours later. Animal control reports of aggressive wildlife. Dogs attacking owners. The infection can cross species. It's in the water system in some areas. It's in the air near the original spill site. They're evacuating entire neighborhoods. I have friends in Pittsburgh. I try calling. Most don't answer. One does. Kenny. We went to high school together. He sounds out of breath. It's bad here, man, he says. Really bad. They're everywhere. We're trying to get out, but the highways are jammed. Military has checkpoints. They're not letting people through. What do you mean, everywhere? I ask, even though I know. The infected. They're not. They're not people anymore. They just attack. They don't stop. You have to destroy the brain. Headshots. That's the only thing that works. There's noise in the background. Shouting. Kenny says he has to go. The line cuts out. I don't hear from him again. The shelter-in-place order extends to my area by day 7. The governor is on TV telling everyone to stay inside. Lock your doors. Avoid all contact with suspected infected individuals. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Do not call unless absolutely necessary. I look around my apartment. Studio, 3rd floor, 1 window facing the parking lot. I have maybe a week of food. No weapons. No plan. The realization hits me like cold water. I'm completely unprepared for this. That's when I start actually thinking, instead of just sitting in shock watching the world end on CNN. I'm a trucker. I know logistics. I know supply chains. I know how fast grocery stores empty when there's a panic. I've seen it during hurricane warnings, during the pandemic. This is going to be worse. This is going to be everything running out at once. I grab my keys and my wallet, and I run down to my truck in the parking lot. The Kenworth is still there. I've been too paralyzed to even think about work. The company hasn't called. I'm guessing they have bigger problems. Once I climb in the cab and fire it up. The fuel gauge shows 3/4 full. That's good. That's something. I drive to the nearest Walmart. It's chaos. The parking lot is packed. People are running shopping carts piled high with supplies toward their cars. Someone nearly hits me pulling out without looking. I circle twice before finding a spot way in the back. Inside is worse. Shelves are already decimated. The canned goods aisle is mostly empty. I grab what I can. Beans, soup, tuna, Chef Boyardee. People are shoving, yelling. A fight breaks out near the registers. Security is nowhere. I see a woman crying over an empty baby formula shelf. I fill my cart and get in line. The wait is 40 minutes. My phone keeps buzzing with emergency alerts. New infection zones, new quarantine areas. The borders are closed. Air traffic is grounded. This is happening everywhere now. Europe, Asia, South America. The whole world is on fire. I pay cash because the card readers are down. The cashier doesn't speak, just scans items mechanically, eyes dead. She's probably been here since the panic started. I load everything into the truck and drive to a sporting goods store. This one has security at the door, limiting how many people can enter. The line outside stretches down the sidewalk. I wait an hour. When I finally get inside, the gun section is mobbed. 3 deep at the counter. I manage to get a shotgun. Remington 870, 2 boxes of shells. The clerk barely checks my ID. The background check system is down anyway. He sells it to me cash. I also grab a hunting knife, a hatchet, camping supplies, water purification tablets, a first aid kit, everything I can carry. But by the time I get back to my apartment, it's getting dark. The news is showing footage of major cities. New York, LA, Chicago, overrun. Buildings burning. The military's in the streets. There's martial law in effect. They're bombing bridges to contain the spread. I haul all my supplies up to my apartment. 3 trips. I'm sweating and my legs are shaking, and I can hear my neighbors arguing through the walls. Someone is blasting music. Someone else is crying. I lock my door and push my dresser in front of it. Then I sit on my bed and I try to think, really think, about what comes next. This apartment isn't going to work. 3rd floor of a building with 40 other units, shared hallways, shared entrance. No way to control who gets in or out. Once the infection reaches this building, I'm trapped. And it will reach here. It's just a matter of time. I need somewhere else. Somewhere I can defend. Somewhere with supplies. Somewhere remote enough that the infected won't swarm in numbers. I pull up maps on my laptop while I still have internet. Looking at rural areas, state game lands, national forest. There's a cabin. I remember it. My uncle's place. He died 2 years ago and the property went to my dad, but Dad never sold it. Too much hassle, too far away. It's up in the mountains, about 90 miles north, off the grid mostly. I went there once as a kid, helped my uncle chop wood. The cabin is small but solid. There's a well, a generator. It's surrounded by forest. I call my dad. He answers on the 5th ring. "Are you watching this?" I ask. "Yeah, I'm watching. I need to use Uncle Jerry's cabin. I need to get out of the city." There's a pause. "You think that's necessary?" "Dad, look at the news. Really look. This isn't going to blow over. I need somewhere safe." Another pause. "All right. Keys are in the lockbox at the property. Code is 4381. There's some supplies there already. Canned goods, tools. Jerry was always prepared for this kind of thing." "Thanks. You be careful. You hear me?" "I will." I hang up and start packing. Everything that fits in duffel bags, clothes, food, the guns, medical supplies. I pile it all by the door. Then I realize I can't take it all in one trip. I'll need the truck. Which means I need fuel. And I need more supplies. Because whatever Uncle Jerry left at the cabin isn't going to be enough long term. I spend the rest of the night making lists. Inventory. What I have. What I need. Fuel. Water. Food for at least 6 months. Medical supplies. Tools. Weapons. Ammunition. Seeds for planting. Fishing gear. The list grows and grows until it's overwhelming. I'll have to hit multiple locations. Hardware store, pharmacy, gun stores, gas stations. And I have to do it before everything completely falls apart. I barely sleep. Every noise in the building makes me jump. Doors slamming, people running in the hallway, sirens outside constant now. The emergency broadcast system keeps interrupting the TV. More areas quarantined, more cities under lockdown. By morning, the internet is intermittent. Rolling blackouts, the power grid is failing. I charge my phone and laptop while I can. Download maps, survival guides, medical information, everything I might need without internet access. Then I grab my keys and head down to the truck. The parking lot is emptier now. A lot of people already fled, or they're inside hiding. I don't see anyone. The morning is gray, cold, It's early April, but it feels like winter still. I drive to a hardware store that just opened. I'm one of the first inside. I load up on essentials: rope, tarps, duct tape, nails, screws, hand tools, a chainsaw. Jerry's cabin has a wood stove. I'll need to process firewood. I grab an axe, a splitting maul, work gloves. The clerk is an older guy. He watches me pile everything on the counter. "Getting out of town?" he asks. "Yeah." "Smart. I'm closing up after today, taking my wife and heading to our daughter's place upstate." "Good luck." "You too." I pay and load the truck. Next stop is a pharmacy. This one has a line. People trying to fill prescriptions, trying to get medicine before it's gone. And I skip the prescription counter and go straight to the aisles. Painkillers, antibiotics if I can find them, bandages, antiseptic, anything useful. The antibiotics are locked up. A pharmacist is refusing to sell them without prescriptions. People are arguing. I grab what I can from the open shelves and leave. Gas station next. There's already a line. 10 cars deep at each pump. I wait 30 minutes. When it's finally my turn, I fill the truck's main tanks and the reserve. 150 gallons total. The pump shuts off twice because of the limit. I go inside and prepay for more. The attendant is clearly done with everyone's shit. He just takes my cash and activates the pump. While I'm filling, I watch the TV mounted inside the station convenience store. The news is showing Washington, D.C., the Capitol building surrounded by military. The president has been evacuated to an undisclosed location. Congress is in emergency session. They're talking about bombing infected zones, about using the military to shoot civilians if necessary to contain the spread. Someone is screaming at another car, trying to cut in line, horns blaring. The whole world is unraveling. I finish fueling and get out of there. Back at my apartment, I load the rest of my supplies. It takes 3 trips. The truck is getting full. I've got the cab packed and I'm using part of the trailer too, even though it's not secured. I'll have to drive carefully. I do one more run. A bulk grocery warehouse. I use my trucker ID to get into the commercial entrance. I buy rice in 50-pound bags, flour, sugar, salt, cases of canned vegetables, beans, cooking oil, water in gallon jugs. I max out my credit card. It doesn't matter anymore. Money is becoming meaningless. By the time I get back to my apartment to do a final check, it's afternoon. Day 8 since the spill. The infection has spread to 37 states. Europe is gone. Asia is in chaos. Australia has closed its borders entirely. New Zealand is shooting people trying to land on their shores. I do a last walkthrough of my apartment. Take anything I missed: my laptop and charger, important documents, photos, my grandfather's watch, things that matter. I lock the door behind me, knowing I'm probably never coming back. The drive north starts okay. Traffic is heavy but moving, everyone with the same idea. Get out of the city. Get to somewhere rural, somewhere safe. But as I get farther from Harrisburg, the roads start to clog. Accidents, abandoned cars, a checkpoint where the National Guard is screening people. I pull up and a young soldier approaches. Can't be older than 20. Rifle slung across his chest. He looks exhausted. "Where are you headed?" he asks. "Family property, up near Wellsboro." "Anyone in your vehicle showing symptoms? Fever? Aggression?" "No, just me." He looks in the cab, sees all my supplies. "You're smart to get out now. It's getting worse. They're saying the cities might be completely gone within the week." "You think that's true?" "I don't know, man. I hope not. But yeah, probably." He waves me through. I drive past the checkpoint and see a field where they've set up tents, medical triage, Bodies on gurneys covered with sheets. Soldiers in hazmat suits moving between them. The highway is clearer after that. Most people turned back at the checkpoint or took different routes. I make decent time for the next hour. Then I hit another snarl. Cars stopped. I slow down and see why. There's been an accident, multi-car pileup. But it's not just an accident. People are out of their cars, running, screaming. And I see one of them, an infected. It's a woman. Or it was. She's covered in blood, moving in that jerky wrong way like her joints don't work right. She's chasing a man. He's trying to get back to his car. She catches him, tackles him to the ground. I can't see what happens next because cars in front of me are reversing, trying to get away. Someone slams into the vehicle next to me. I put the truck in reverse too, but there's nowhere to go. More people are running, more infected appearing from the tree line on the side of the highway. And this is happening, right now, in front of me. I throw the truck into drive and swing out into the median. The Kenworth is heavy enough to handle the rough ground. I drive through grass and dirt, bouncing, my supplies sliding around in the cab. I get back on the highway farther ahead. I can see in my mirrors people being dragged down. Attacked. I keep driving, hands locked on the wheel, heart slamming. I don't stop. Can't stop. It takes another 2 hours to get to the turnoff for the cabin. The secondary roads are less crowded, rural. I pass a few other vehicles heading the opposite direction, toward the cities. People who haven't figured it out yet. I don't try to warn them. What would I say? The turnoff to the cabin is a dirt road marked only by a faded sign for Jerry's property. I almost miss it. I turn and the truck bounces over ruts and rocks. The road hasn't been maintained since Jerry died. Tree branches scrape the sides of the trailer. I drive slow. A mile in, then 2. The forest gets thicker, the road narrower. Finally, I see it. The cabin, small, single-story, log construction, tin roof, exactly like I remember. There's a clearing around it, maybe an acre. The rest is dense woods, hills rising on all sides. I park the truck and just sit there for a moment. I made it. I'm here, safe for now. Then I get out and start unloading. It's late afternoon. The sun is already dropping behind the mountains. I need to get everything inside before dark. I find the lockbox my dad mentioned. The code works. Keys inside. I unlock the cabin door. It smells musty. Closed up for 2 years. But it's solid. One main room with a kitchen area. A wood stove. A loft where the bed is. Small bathroom with a composting toilet. The generator is out back under a shed. I check it. Looks functional. Jerry kept things maintained. I spend the next 3 hours hauling supplies inside. Organizing. I stack the food in the kitchen. Put the guns and ammunition in the loft. Medical supplies in the bathroom. Tools in the shed outside. By the time I'm done, it's dark and I'm exhausted. I light a kerosene lamp. The cabin has solar panels on the roof, but I don't know if they work. I'll check tomorrow. For now, I eat cold soup straight from the can and try to process everything. I'm alive. I have supplies. I have shelter. But the world outside is ending. Everything I knew is gone or going. My friends, my family, my old life. I try my phone. 1 bar of service. Barely. I send a text to my dad. Made it to the cabin. I'm okay. Hope you're safe. It doesn't deliver. The network is probably overloaded or down entirely. I climb up to the loft and lie on the old mattress Jerry left. It smells like dust and mouse droppings. I'll deal with that tomorrow. For now, I just close my eyes and listen to the forest outside. Wind in the trees. An owl calling. Normal sounds. safe sounds. But underneath, I can still see that woman on the highway. The way she moved. The blood. I don't sleep much that first night. Morning comes cold and gray. I wake up stiff and disoriented. For a second, I don't remember where I am. Then it all comes back. I get up and go outside to piss off the edge of the porch. The forest is quiet. No birds singing. That's wrong. There should be birds. I spend the day doing inventory and making the cabin more secure. I board up the windows on the ground floor, except for one facing the clearing so I can see out. I reinforce the door. Check all the seals. The cabin is small enough that I can defend it if I have to. The generator starts on the third try. I let it run for an hour to charge the solar battery system. The panels seem to work. Jerry had this place set up pretty well. Independent power, water from the well, the wood stove for heat and cooking. He was a survivalist before it was cool. I inventory the food Jerry left. Canned goods mostly, expired but probably still safe. Dry beans, rice, flour, salt, sugar, spices, cooking oil. It's not much, but combined with what I brought, I have maybe 4 months if I'm careful. After that, I'll need to hunt. Fish, forage. I'm not a hunter. I've shot guns at ranges, but never at living things. Now that's going to have to change. The radio still works, AM stations mostly. I scan through and find emergency broadcasts. The situation is worse. The infection is global now. Major population centers are lost, millions dead, governments collapsing. The military is pulling back to defensible positions. They're abandoning civilians in infected zones. One broadcast from a station in Philadelphia. A panicked voice saying the infected are inside the building, saying they're coming through the doors, then screaming, then static. I turn the radio off. I don't need to hear that. Day 10. I'm settling into a routine. Wake up. Check the perimeter. Gather firewood. Purify water. Eat. Maintain equipment. It's boring and terrifying at the same time. Boring because nothing happens up here. Terrifying because I keep waiting for something to happen. I see my first infected on day 12. I'm outside chopping wood when I hear something crashing through the underbrush. I grab the shotgun I've started keeping close. A figure stumbles into the clearing. A man, middle-aged, dressed in torn business clothes, covered in blood and filth. He sees me and makes this sound, not a scream, not a growl, something between, wet and hungry. He starts moving toward me with that wrong jerky gait, arms out, mouth open. I raise the shotgun. My hands are shaking. He keeps coming. 20 feet, 15, 10. I pull the trigger. The recoil slams into my shoulder. The blast catches him in the chest. He goes down, but then he starts getting back up, still making that sound. I fire again. Headshot this time. Half his skull disintegrates. He drops and doesn't get up again. I stand there for a long time, breathing hard, staring at the body. I just killed someone. I just killed something that used to be someone. The reality of it crashes down on me. I drop the shotgun and vomit into the grass. After I pull myself together, I drag the body into the woods, far from the cabin. I can't bury it. The ground is still half frozen. I cover it with branches and leaves. Let nature take care of it. Back at the cabin, I clean the shotgun. My hands are still shaking. I keep seeing his face, the way his eyes were empty. Like nobody was home, just the virus, just the hunger. That night, I don't sleep at all. I sit in the loft with the shotgun across my lap, watching the clearing through the window, waiting for more to come. They don't. But I can't convince myself they won't. By day 15, I've seen 3 more infected. One I shoot from the porch. Another I avoid by staying inside until it wanders off. The third gets close enough that I can smell it. Rotting meat and something chemical. I put it down with the hunting rifle. Cleaner shot, less noise. I'm getting better at it. That bothers me. How quickly killing becomes routine. How fast you adapt to the new rules. See infected. Destroy brain. Drag body away. Move on. The radio stations are going off the air one by one. The last broadcast I hear is from somewhere in the Midwest. A preacher reading Bible verses. Revelation. End times. Then nothing. Just static and silence. The power grid goes down completely on day 18. I expected it. I'm running on solar now. Limited electricity. Enough to charge the radio and my phone even though there's no service anymore. Enough for lights at night. But I ration it. Won't try to save battery power for when I really need it. Food is becoming a concern. I'm going through supplies faster than I planned. Stress makes you hungry. Or maybe it's just having nothing to do but eat and wait. I need to start hunting, fishing, supplementing. There's a stream about half a mile from the cabin. I hike down with my fishing gear. The woods are quiet. Still no birds. I don't know if the infection killed them or if they just left. Maybe animals are smarter than us. Maybe they knew to run. The stream is clear and cold. I set up on a rock and cast. It takes an hour, but I catch 2 trout. Small ones. I gut them right there and carry them back in a bag. Fresh protein. It's the first good thing that's happened in weeks. I cook them on the wood stove. They're delicious. The best meal I've had since this started. For a moment, I forget everything. Just enjoy the taste, the texture. Then reality comes back. This is my life now. Catching fish, hiding in a cabin, waiting for the world to end completely. Day 20. I'm on the porch at dawn when I see smoke. South, toward where the nearest town would be. Black smoke rising into the gray sky. Something big is burning. I watch it for an hour. The smoke gets thicker. Then it starts to dissipate. Whatever was burning is burning out. I wonder if anyone survived. If there's anyone left in that town. Or if it's just infected wandering through empty streets. Burning buildings with no one to put out the fires. I'm completely isolated now. No communication. No way to know what's happening beyond what I can see and hear. For all I know, I'm the last person alive in Pennsylvania, and maybe the last person alive anywhere. That thought sits with me all day. Heavy, suffocating. I have to keep busy or I'll spiral. So I work. I chop more wood than I need. I clean the cabin again. I inventory supplies for the 3rd time. Anything to keep my hands and mind occupied. Day 23. I hear gunshots in the distance. Multiple shots, automatic fire. Then silence. Someone is out there. Fighting, or was fighting. I don't know if they won. I stay inside, keep the doors locked. Wait, hours pass. No one comes. The forest stays quiet. That night, I dream about the spill. About the loading dock. Dale and the new guy cleaning up the liquid. The cats walking through it. In the dream, the cats look at me. Their eyes are wrong, glowing. They open their mouths and that sound comes out. That wet, hungry sound the infected make. I wake up choking on a scream. It's just after midnight. The cabin is dark. I light the lamp with shaking hands and sit on the bed until my heart stops racing. This is what isolation does. Your mind turns on you. Dreams become nightmares. Every shadow is a threat. Every sound is danger. I'm fighting the virus outside and the fear inside, and I don't know which one will kill me first. Day 25. I find tracks around the cabin. Boot prints, human, fresh. Someone was here while I was sleeping. They didn't try to get in. just circled the cabin and left. I follow the tracks into the woods. They disappear into rocky ground after about 50 yards. Who was it? Survivor? Scout? Someone looking for supplies? Or was it someone infected who retained enough motor function to walk quietly? I've heard that can happen. That some infected are smarter than others. That the virus affects people differently. I reinforce the cabin's defenses, set up noise traps around the perimeter, tin cans on string, anything that will alert me if someone approaches. I sleep even less now. Day 27. I'm running low on shotgun shells. I've used more than I planned. Between the infected I've killed and the practice shots to stay proficient, I'm down to maybe 40 shells. The rifle has more ammunition, but it's louder. Attracts attention. I need to be smarter about this. More selective. Only shoot when necessary. Otherwise use the hatchet or knife for close encounters. The thought of getting that close to an infected makes me nauseous, but I might not have a choice. I'm also running low on coffee. That's the thing that hurts most. Stupid but true. I can handle fear, loneliness, the constant threat. But morning without coffee is torture. I ration it. 1 small cup every other day, savoring every bitter sip. Day 28. Another infected wanders into the clearing. This one is fresh, recently turned, still wearing clean clothes, a woman, young, maybe early 20s. There's an ID badge clipped to her shirt. I can't read the name from this distance, but it looks corporate. Some office building logo. She doesn't see me. I'm watching from inside through a gap in the boarded window. She's moving slow, confused, looking around like she's lost. Then she picks up a scent or sound. Her head snaps toward the cabin. And that transformation happens. From confused to focused. From lost to hunting. She rushes the door, slams into it. The reinforced frame holds. She keeps hitting it. Over and over. No strategy. No intelligence. Just the drive to get in. To feed. I watch her for 5 minutes. Then I go upstairs to the loft window. Open it quietly. Lean out with the rifle. She's still at the door below. I line up the shot. Squeeze the trigger. The crack of the rifle echoes off the hills. She drops. I wait an hour before going outside, making sure no other infected heard the shot and came to investigate. The clearing stays empty. I drag her body away like the others. She's lighter than the men, easier to move. But somehow that makes it worse. Her ID badge says Rebecca. She worked at a consulting firm. There's a photo. She's smiling in it. Professional headshot. She was a person, had a life, dreams, maybe a family. Now she's dead in the woods because I shot her in the head. I go back to the cabin and sit on the floor. I don't cry. Haven't cried since this started. But I feel empty, hollowed out, like everything human is being carved away piece by piece, leaving something else behind, something harder, colder. Day 29. The weather is changing, getting warmer. Spring is really here now. The snow is completely gone. Green shoots are coming up through the dead leaves. Normally, this would be nice, a sign of renewal. But all I can think is how much easier it will be for infected to move once the ground isn't frozen. How many more will wander up into these hills as they spread out from the towns below? I spend the day improving my defenses. I dig a trench around the cabin perimeter. Not deep, just enough to slow down anyone approaching. I fill it with sharpened stakes, punji pit style. Might not stop infected, but it'll slow them down. Give me more time to react. And I also set up early warning systems. I hang more cans on string between trees at the edge of the clearing. Tie fishing line across paths. If something trips it, I'll hear. I'm turning this place into a fortress, or trying to. One person can only do so much. Day 30. I've been here a month. 30 days since I fled Harrisburg. 30 days since the world ended. I take stock of where I am. Supplies are holding but won't last forever. Maybe 3 more months of food if I'm careful. Water is fine. The well is good. Power is stable with the solar panels. Ammunition is concerning. Medical supplies are okay. Haven't needed much yet. The infected are a constant threat but manageable so far. They come through in 1s and 2s, easy enough to handle. My real fear is a horde, a large group moving through. I wouldn't survive that. Couldn't fight off that many. Psychologically, I'm deteriorating. I can feel it. The isolation is crushing. I talk to myself now. Conversations with imaginary people. Sometimes I pretend I'm recording a message for someone who might find it later, explaining what happened, how I survived, even though I know no one will ever find it. No one is coming. At night I hear things. Not infected. Other sounds. Scratching in the walls. Footsteps on the roof. I know it's probably just animals. Raccoons, squirrels. But in the dark, everything sounds threatening. Everything sounds like it's coming to kill me. I'm not sure how long I can do this. This existence. Surviving, but not living. Waiting for the day when I make a mistake. When I get sick or injured. When supplies run out. When too many infected come at once. It's not if, it's when. But I keep going. Because what else is there? You don't give up. You push through. You survive another day. Then another. Until you can't anymore. I'm sitting on the porch watching the sun set over the mountains. The sky is orange and pink. Beautiful. Like nothing is wrong. Like the world isn't full of corpses and monsters. For a moment, I let myself imagine it's all a dream. That I'll wake up and everything will be normal. Back in my apartment, heading to work, complaining about traffic. Then I hear it, distant but clear. That sound, the wet, hungry sound of infected. Multiple voices, coming from the woods to the south, moving this way. I grab the shotgun and go inside. Lock the door, climb to the loft, watch through the window. The sound gets louder, closer. Then I see them, stumbling out of the tree line into the clearing. 10, 15, 20, more still coming. A horde, the thing I feared most. And they're heading straight for the cabin. I check my ammunition, 40 shells for the shotgun, maybe 60 rounds for the rifle. Not enough, not nearly enough if they all come at once. I load both guns, set extra ammo within reach. My hands are steady. Adrenaline has burned away the fear. All that's left is cold calculation. How many can I kill before they get inside? What's my exit plan if the cabin is breached? Do I have an exit plan? The first ones hit the trench. The stakes slow them down, but don't stop them. They climb over. Keep coming. The noisemakers trigger. Cans rattling, fishing lines snapping. They don't care. Don't react. Just move toward the cabin, drawn by whatever senses guide them. Smell, maybe, or heat, or just the knowledge that something living is inside. I start shooting, rifle first, picking off targets from the loft window. Headshots. Each one drops, but there are so many. For every one I kill, 2 more emerge from the woods. The horde is bigger than I thought. 30, 40, maybe more. They reach the cabin, start pounding on the walls, the door, the boarded windows. The whole structure shakes. I switch to the shotgun, lean out the loft window and fire down at the ones directly below. The blasts are deafening in the enclosed space. My ears ring. Shells rain on the floor. I reload. Fire again. They keep coming. I'm not killing them fast enough. The door is starting to splinter. One of the window boards cracks. I can see fingers gripping the edge, pulling, clawing. I make a decision. I grab the jerry can of gasoline I keep for the generator, pour it down onto the porch, the infected below. I drop a lit kerosene lamp after it. The flames whoosh up instantly, blue and orange. Heat sears my face. I pull back from the window. The infected catch fire. They don't react. Don't try to put themselves out. Just keep trying to get inside while they burn. The smell is horrific. Burning hair, cooking meat, chemical smoke from their clothes, and whatever fluids are in their bodies. Some collapse. Others stagger away, spreading flames to the grass, to the trees. The clearing lights up like a bonfire. I watch through the smoke. More infected keep coming through the flames, burning but still moving, still reaching for the cabin. I'm almost out of ammunition, down to the last magazine for the rifle, maybe 10 shotgun shells. This is it. If they breach now, I'm done. I draw the hunting knife, grip it tight. If I'm going down, I'm taking as many with me as I can. The window board gives way. A burning arm reaches through, grabs at air. I shoot it point blank with the shotgun. The arm detaches, falls inside the cabin, still twitching, still trying to grab. Then, as suddenly as it started, the pressure lessens. The pounding stops. I risk looking out. Most of the infected are down. Burning corpses scattered across the clearing. A few stragglers still moving, but not focused on the cabin anymore. Wandering in circles, confused by the fire and smoke. I pick them off with the rifle. 1, 2, 3. The last one stumbles into the burning grass and collapses. Goes still. The clearing is on fire now. Grass and brush burning. The trees at the edge starting to catch. And I have to put it out before the whole forest goes up. Before the cabin burns, I grab every container I have. Run to the well, start hauling water, throwing it on the flames. It's futile. The fire is too big, too hot. I'm just one person with buckets. But I keep trying, because if the cabin burns, I have nothing, nowhere to go. It takes hours. The fire spreads to the trees. I create a fire break by digging up grass and dirt, soaking the ground. Slowly, painfully, the fire runs out of fuel, starts to die. By the time the sun comes up, it's mostly out. Just smoldering patches, smoke rising in gray columns. I collapse on the porch, covered in soot and ash, exhausted, every muscle trembling. The clearing is a wasteland. Burned grass, charred bodies, black scorch marks on the cabin walls. But the cabin stands, and I'm alive. Day 31. I spend the entire day dealing with the aftermath, dragging burned corpses away, trying to salvage what I can. The front of the cabin is scorched. One window is broken. The door is damaged, but still functional. I'll need to repair it, reinforce it better. I'm completely out of shotgun shells, down to 30 rifle rounds. I have the knife and hatchet, and that's it. If another horde comes, I'm finished. I also burned through a lot of supplies in the fire. The gasoline is gone. Some of the food storage near the front of the cabin got damaged by smoke and heat. I'm down to maybe 2 months of food now, maybe less. The radio crackles to life that night. First time in days. A voice, broken, fading in and out. Anyone out there? Safe zone. Coordinates, if you can hear this. I grab a pencil and paper, try to write down what I'm hearing. But the signal is too weak, too garbled. I catch fragments. Something about a safe zone, military protection, somewhere north, but no clear location. No way to know if it's even real. The broadcast cuts out, doesn't come back. I sit there staring at the radio, hoping. But there's only static, Could be real. Could be a trap. Could be nothing. Old recording on a loop from before everything fell apart. But it's the first sign in a month that there might be other survivors. That I might not be completely alone. The question is, what do I do about it? Do I stay here where I've built defenses? Where I know the terrain? Or do I risk everything to find this maybe safe zone that might not exist? I don't decide that night. Too tired. Too much to process. I just climb to the loft and pass out on the mattress. Don't even undress. Just sleep the sleep of the dead. No dreams. No nightmares. Just darkness. Day 32. I wake to rain. Heavy spring rain drumming on the tin roof. I lie there listening. The sound is soothing. Normal. I almost forget where I am. What's happening? Then I sit up and see the scorch marks on the wall. The broken window. Reality comes flooding back. I get up and assess the damage in daylight. It's worse than I thought. The porch is partially collapsed. The front wall of the cabin has cracks in the logs. Not structural, but concerning. The door hangs crooked on damaged hinges. I can fix some of this, but I don't have the materials for a full repair. The rain puts out the last of the smoldering fires in the clearing, turns the ash into black mud. I go outside and start working despite the weather, nailing boards over the broken window, trying to straighten the door. It's not pretty, but it's functional. By afternoon, I'm soaked and shivering. I go inside and build a fire in the wood stove. Strip off wet clothes and hang them to dry. Make coffee with the last of my grounds. Sit wrapped in a blanket trying to get warm. The rain continues all night. I lie in the loft listening to it, thinking about the broadcast, about the possibility of other survivors. The more I think about it, the more I realize I can't stay here long term. Not alone. Not with dwindling supplies and no way to get more. I need to at least try to find the safe zone, or find other people. Something. But I can't just abandon the cabin. Not yet. I need to prepare. Gather what supplies I can carry. Plan a route. Make sure I'm not walking into a worse situation than I'm already in. Day 33. The rain stops. The sun comes out. Everything steams. The clearing is a mess of mud and ash and burned debris. I start salvaging, pulling nails from charred wood, collecting anything useful. I find the remains of one of the infected, partially burned. The skull is intact. I can see the damage the virus did. The brain is swollen, discolored, pushing against the inside of the skull. No wonder they act the way they do. The virus literally eats the brain, turns them into walking corpses driven by base instincts. I bury what remains I can find. Not out of respect exactly, more out of necessity. The smell is attracting scavengers, crows, vultures, things moving in the underbrush. I don't need more problems. Day 34. I make a decision. I'm going to scout the area. Look for signs of other survivors. Try to figure out where this safe zone might be. But I won't go far. Just a radius of maybe 10 miles. See what's out there. If I don't find anything promising, I'll come back and reassess. I pack a bag. Food, water, the rifle, ammunition, knife, first aid kit, map, compass, everything I need for a few days away from the cabin. I'll travel light, move fast, stay off main roads, avoid towns. I lock the cabin as best I can. Hide my remaining supplies. If someone finds this place while I'm gone, I don't want them taking everything. Then I head out, due north, into the mountains, away from the burned clearing and the memories of that horde. The forest is thick, old growth, barely any trails. I navigate by compass and terrain, up ridges, through valleys. It's slow going, while physically demanding. I'm not in great shape after a month of minimal activity and high stress. My legs burn, my lungs ache. But I push through. By mid-afternoon, I find something. A logging road. Overgrown, but passable. I follow it west. After an hour, I see a structure through the trees. A hunting cabin, smaller than Jerry's place. I approach carefully. Gun ready. No signs of life. No sounds. The door is open. Inside is chaos. Supplies scattered. Blood on the walls. A body in the corner. Infected or survivor killed by infected. Impossible to tell. It's been dead for weeks. The smell is overwhelming. I back out and keep moving. The sun is setting when I find the town. Or what's left of it. I'm on a ridge looking down. Maybe 200 buildings. Main street, post office, gas station. All of it silent. Empty. Cars abandoned in the streets. Windows broken. Smoke stains on some of the buildings. I glass it with binoculars I took from Jerry's cabin, looking for movement, any sign of life. I see infected. Maybe a dozen wandering the streets. Moving slow. No urgency. Just drifting. Waiting for something living to attract their attention. I also see something else. Graffiti on the side of a building. Fresh paint. Bright orange. An arrow pointing north. And words. Refuge 40 miles. Someone left a sign. Someone who survived. Someone who made it to or knew about a refuge. That's more concrete than the radio broadcast. Actual evidence. I mark the location on my map. The arrow points toward a larger town to the north. I check the map. That would be Countersport. Bigger population. Maybe 3,000 people before the outbreak. And if there's an organized refuge, it would be there. Centrally located, near a hospital, near supply routes. It's a 2-day hike from here. Maybe 3 depending on terrain and how many infected I encounter. I could go back to the cabin, get the truck, drive there. But that means using fuel, making noise, attracting attention. Roads might be blocked. The truck might get me there, but it might also get me killed. I camp on the ridge that night. No fire, just cold rations and water. I lie in my sleeping bag watching the town below. The infected move through the streets like ghosts. In the moonlight, they almost look normal, almost human. Until they turn and you see the way they move. The wrongness of it. Sleep comes in fits. Every sound jerks me awake. A branch cracking, an animal moving, and the distant sound of something that might be infected or might be wind. I'm on edge, exposed, vulnerable out here in ways I wasn't at the cabin. Day 35. I wake before dawn and pack up. I'm going to scout closer to the town, see if I can find more information, maybe find supplies if there's anywhere safe to scavenge. I move down the ridge slowly, using trees for cover, staying off the open road. The infected below don't seem alert. They're scattered, individual wanderers. None of the pack behavior I saw at the cabin. I circle around the town, keeping my distance, looking for more signs. I find them. More graffiti, more arrows. Someone went through here recently, marking a path, leading survivors north, toward the refuge. I also find bodies. Humans. Dead but not infected. Shot, executed. Bullet wounds to the head. Most they're lined up on the side of the road like they were kneeling when it happened. 5 of them, men and women. Their hands are still bound behind their backs with zip ties. This wasn't infected that killed them. This was people. Survivors killing survivors. The question is why? Were they infected and someone put them down? Or was it something else? Robbery, resources, territory. The dark possibilities multiply. I don't linger. I keep moving, circle back toward my camp spot. As I'm climbing the ridge, I hear an engine, distant but getting closer. I drop behind a fallen log and watch the road. A truck appears. Civilian pickup, moving fast, swerving around abandoned cars. In the back are people, maybe 6, armed. They're scanning the area, looking for something or someone. The truck slows near where the bodies are. Stops. 2 men get out. They walk over and look at the corpses. One of them says something I can't hear. They both laugh. Then they get back in the truck and it drives off. North, following the arrows. I wait an hour after they're gone before moving. My mind is racing. There are survivors, organized groups, but they're dangerous, executing people, laughing about it. That's not a refuge. That's something else. Predators, bandits, people who've decided the old rules don't apply anymore. Do I still go north? Try to reach this refuge? Or do I turn back? Stick with the cabin? The isolation? The known dangers versus the unknown? I think about it while I hike back toward Jerry's place, the long way around, avoiding the town, taking my time. By the time I see the cabin, it's late afternoon, and I've made a decision. I'm going to the refuge, or at least close enough to scout it. See what it actually is, because staying at the cabin alone isn't sustainable. I've proven that. One horde almost killed me. The next one will. I need other people, even if they're dangerous, even if it's a risk, because dying alone in the woods is a certainty. And maybe the refuge is exactly what it claims to be. A safe place, protection, community. Maybe. Back at the cabin, I take inventory again. Figure out what I can carry versus what I have to leave behind. If I'm hiking 40 miles, I need to be smart. Pack light, essentials only, food, water, weapons, medical supplies, the radio, maps, that's it. Everything else stays. I also need to cache supplies. Hide them in case I need to come back. Or in case someone else finds the cabin and I can return later. I spend the evening burying containers in the woods, marking them in ways only I would recognize. Food, ammunition, tools, insurance, day 36. I do final preparations. Fill water bottles, pack food in sealed bags, load the rifle, sharpen the knife. I'm as ready as I'm going to be. I take one last look around the cabin. This place saved my life, gave me a month of safety. I might never see it again. I lock the door, hide the key, then I start walking north. Following the road I scouted before, staying off the pavement, moving through the trees parallel to it, watching for infected, for vehicles, for any signs of people. The first day is uneventful. I cover maybe 10 miles. My legs are sore. My pack is heavy. I'm not used to this kind of exertion anymore. A month of cabin life made me soft. But I pushed through, stopped frequently to rest and hydrate. Glass the road ahead with binoculars. Stay cautious. I camped that night in a dense thicket off the road. Hidden from view, no fire again. Cold food, uncomfortable sleep. Every noise puts me on alert. But nothing comes. The night passes slowly. Stars overhead. Silent, indifferent to the apocalypse below. Day 37. I wake stiff and cold. Pack up and keep moving. The terrain gets rougher. Hills steeper. The road winds through valleys. I see more abandoned vehicles. More signs of panic. Suitcases left on the roadside. Children's toys. A wheelchair tipped over in a ditch. I also see more infected. They're spread out, wandering aimlessly. I avoid them easily enough. Give them wide berth. Don't engage unless I have to. Save ammunition. Stay quiet. Around noon, I find another town, smaller than the last one. Maybe 30 buildings. I scout it from a distance. More graffiti, more arrows. The infection hit hard here. Bodies everywhere. Some infected still moving, others long dead, rotting. I'm about to circle around when I hear something. A voice. Human. calling out. I freeze. Listen. It comes again. Someone yelling. Panicked. From inside one of the buildings. Help! Please! Someone! Every instinct says, keep moving. Don't get involved. It could be a trap. Bait. Survivors using someone to lure in others. Rob them. Kill them. Take their supplies. But it could also be someone who actually needs help. Someone like me. Trying to survive. Alone. Desperate. I war with myself for a full minute. Then I moved toward the sound. Gun ready. Moving slow. Checking corners. The voice is coming from a pharmacy. The windows are broken. The door hanging open. I approach from the side. Peer inside. Darkness. Shelves tipped over. Products scattered. And in the back, someone trapped behind the pharmacy counter. A kid. Can't be older than 16. Skinny. Terrified. There are infected between him and the exit. 3 of them. Wandering the aisles. Blocking his escape. The kid sees me. His eyes go wide. Please help me. I've been stuck here all night. I assess the situation. 3 infected. Close quarters. Rifle will be loud. Attract more. Knife would be quieter, but risky. I'd have to get close. Could get bitten. Scratched. Infected myself. I make a decision. I whistle. Sharp. The infected turn toward me. Start moving. I back out of the pharmacy. Lead them outside. Into the street. Give myself room. When they clear the doorway, I shoot. 3 quick shots. Head, head, head. They drop. The kid comes running out. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. I thought I was dead. You alone? I ask. Yeah. My family. They got infected. I've been on my own for 2 weeks. He's got a backpack. Looks empty. No weapons I can see. Just a scared kid who's been lucky so far. You know where you're going? I ask. North. There's supposed to be a safe place. A refuge. That's what the signs say. I'm headed there too. You want to come with me? He nods fast. Desperate. Yes. Please, I can help. I can carry stuff. I won't be trouble. I'm already regretting this, but I can't just leave him. He'll die out here alone, and maybe having another person will help. Someone to keep watch, share the load, even if he's just a kid. What's your name? I ask. Tyler. I'm Jim. Stay close. Stay quiet. Do exactly what I say when I say it. Understand? Yes, I understand. We move out together. I keep him behind me, eyes forward. The extra noise he makes is concerning. He's not used to moving quietly. His pack rattles. His breathing is loud, but he's trying. Following instructions. We make another few miles before dark. I find a spot to camp. Defensible position on high ground. Tyler is exhausted. Collapses as soon as we stop. I check his feet. Blisters. He's been walking in sneakers, not boots. His feet are shredded. Why didn't you say something? I ask. Didn't want to slow you down. Didn't want you to leave me. I dig through my first aid kit. Clean and bandage his feet. Give him ibuprofen. He winces but doesn't complain. Tough kid, or just scared enough to push through anything. We eat in silence. I share my food even though it cuts into my supplies. He wolfs it down like he hasn't eaten in days. Probably hasn't. Not a real meal anyway. How did you survive this long? I ask. Hiding mostly, staying in houses, stores, anywhere I could lock the door. Moving at night. The infected seem less active at night. I don't know why. That's new information. I hadn't noticed. Been too focused on staying put. But if he's right, it could be useful. Infected are slower. Less aggressive after dark. Something about the virus, maybe. Or just basic biology. Metabolism slowing without sunlight. You see any other survivors? I ask. A few. Most didn't want anything to do with me. One group tried to rob me, but I ran. That's how I ended up in that pharmacy. Running from them? Or the infected came after, and I got trapped. The group that tried to rob you, what did they look like? Guys in a truck, pickup, maybe 6 of them, all armed. Same group I saw, or similar. They're operating in the area, preying on survivors. That's going to be a problem if we run into them. We take turns keeping watch that night. I give Tyler first shift. Tell him to wake me if he sees or hears anything. I don't sleep well. Don't fully trust him yet. But I'm too tired to stay awake all night. I need the rest. Tyler wakes me 4 hours later. I think I hear something in the woods. I listen. Movement. Something big. But the sound is wrong. Not shuffling. Not the jerky gait of infected. This is smooth. Deliberate. Animal. Stay here, I whisper. I move toward the sound. Rifle ready. Peer through the darkness. And 2 eyes reflect my flashlight. Yellow-green. Then it moves, and I see the shape. Bear. Black bear. Maybe 300 pounds. It's rooting through the ground. Foraging. I back away slowly. Don't startle it. Get back to Tyler. Just a bear. We're good. A bear? Jesus. That's almost as bad as infected. Worse in some ways. But it won't bother us if we don't bother it. We finish the night without incident. The bear moves on. Morning comes cold and gray. We pack up and keep moving north. Tyler is limping, but he doesn't complain. Kid's got grit, I'll give him that. Day 38. We cover good ground, maybe 12 miles. The terrain levels out. We're in farm country now. Open fields, barns, houses spaced far apart. Lots of exposure. Hard to stay hidden. We see more infected here. They're in the fields, wandering. Some clustered around farmhouses, drawn by whatever smell or sound trapped survivors made before they died or escaped. We avoid them. Wide detours. Takes longer, but it's safer. Around noon, we spot smoke again. Not from a fire, from a chimney. Someone is alive. Cooking, staying warm. Tyler wants to approach. I hold him back. Could be friendly, could be hostile. We watch first, figure out what we're dealing with. We find a position in a tree line, glass the house with binoculars. It's a farmhouse. 2 stories, well maintained. There's a garden planted in the yard, defensive barriers set up. Someone's been here a while, built fortifications, settled in. I watch for an hour, see movement inside. 1 person, then 2. They're armed, rifles, moving with purpose, checking perimeter, professional, military maybe, or just experienced survivors. We should make contact, Tyler says. Maybe they'll help us, share supplies. Or maybe they'll shoot us. We're armed strangers approaching their safe house. That's how you get killed. So what do? We move on, not worth the risk. Tyler looks disappointed, but he doesn't argue. We skirt around the property, give it a wide berth, keep moving north. The farmhouse disappears behind us. I wonder if they saw us, if they're watching, deciding whether to follow, to hunt us down. But no one comes. The fields stay empty. By evening, we reach another town, bigger this time. The signs say population 1,500. There's a main street, shops, a school, and everywhere, graffiti, arrows pointing north. Refuge ahead. Keep moving. Safety north. We move through the outskirts carefully, and the infected are thick here. Dozens of them. Scattered through streets and buildings. We stick to backyards and alleys. Stay low, stay quiet. Tyler is getting better at it, learning, adapting. We're halfway through when we hear the truck. Same sound as before. Engine loud, approaching fast. I grab Tyler and pull him behind a dumpster. The pickup roars past. Same one. Same armed men in the back. They're circling, patrolling, hunting. The truck stops a block away. The men get out. Start searching buildings, looking for supplies or survivors. We're downwind. They won't smell us. But if they search systematically, they'll find us. It's only a matter of time. We need to move, I whisper. Where? Anywhere but here. We slip out the back of the alley, move toward the edge of town. Behind us I hear shouting. The men found something. Or someone. Gunshots. Sharp cracks echoing off buildings, then screaming, cut short. Tyler looks at me. His face is pale. What do we do? We run, now. We sprint for the tree line at the edge of town. No more stealth, just speed. Get distance. Behind us, the truck engine roars to life. They heard us. They're coming. We hit the trees and don't stop. Crashing through underbrush, branches whipping our faces. I can hear the truck on the road, parallel to us, trying to cut us off. We veer deeper into the woods, where vehicles can't follow. The terrain gets rougher, steeper. Tyler is falling behind, his legs shorter, his endurance less. I grab his pack and pull him along. Come on, keep moving. The truck stops. I hear doors slamming. Voices. They're coming on foot now, through the woods, hunting us like animals. And I pull Tyler off the path, into a ravine. We slide down wet leaves and mud, hit the bottom hard. There's a creek, shallow water. We wade into it, move downstream, put distance between us and our tracks. They'll find us, Tyler gasps. They'll catch us. Not if we're smart, quiet, stay in the water, keep moving. We follow the creek for maybe half a mile. My boots are soaked. Tyler is shivering, but we don't stop. Can't stop. Behind us, I hear them, crashing through the woods, shouting to each other, coordinating the search, then gunfire, rapid, automatic. Not aimed at us, aimed at something else, the infected. The noise must have drawn them, a whole pack. And now the hunters are being hunted. We use the chaos. Climb out of the creek, up the opposite bank, into thicker forest. Put as much distance as we can between us and them. A run until our lungs burn. Until Tyler collapses and can't go any farther. We hide in a hollow under a fallen tree, covered in dirt and leaves, listening. The gunfire continues, then screams, then silence. I don't know if they killed all the infected, or if the infected killed them. Don't care. As long as they're not looking for us anymore. We stay hidden until full dark. Then we carefully extract ourselves. Move north by compass. No roads. No paths. Just dense forest. Navigation by starlight and guesswork. It's slow, exhausting, but safer than being exposed. We find a spot to camp. No fire, no light. Just huddled together for warmth. Tyler is shaking. From cold or fear or both. I give him my jacket. He doesn't say anything, just pulls it tight and closes his eyes. I stay awake, gun in my lap, listening to the night. The forest is alive with sounds. Animals, insects, wind, all of it normal, all of it potentially masking danger. I don't sleep, can't risk it. We came too close today, too close to being caught, killed, or worse. Day 39. We move at first light. Tyler is quiet, shell-shocked. Yesterday rattled him. Rattled me too, if I'm honest. This isn't just infected we're dealing with. It's people. Organized, armed, dangerous. Maybe more dangerous than the virus. We stick to the woods. Avoid all roads, all buildings, all signs of civilization. Just focus on moving north. Following the compass, trusting that the refuge is real, that we'll find it, that it'll be worth all this. The day passes slowly. We cover maybe 8 miles. Not great progress, but better than nothing. My feet hurt. Tyler's blisters are worse. He's limping badly now. I give him more ibuprofen, adjust his bandages. We're running low on medical supplies, running low on everything. By afternoon, we're both exhausted, We need rest, real rest. But every stop feels dangerous. Every moment not moving is a moment we could be found. Caught, so we push through. One foot in front of the other, mechanical, mindless. We're crossing a ridge when we see it, in the valley below. A town, bigger than the others, and lights, actual electric lights. Glowing in windows, street lights, a generator or restored power. Signs of organized survivors. Tyler grabs my arm. Is that it? Is that the refuge? I check the map. The distance. Yeah. This is Cooter Sport, the place the arrows pointed to. And there's definitely people here. Living people. Not just infected, not just bandits. An actual community. Maybe, I say, let's get closer. See what we're dealing with. We descend into the valley carefully. The sun is setting, long shadows across the land. We approach from the east, staying in cover. The town is surrounded by walls, makeshift but functional, corrugated metal, shipping containers, concrete barriers, and guards. People with rifles walking patrols, watching the perimeter. This is real. A fortified settlement, survivors banding together. Exactly what we've been looking for. But the question remains, are they friendly? Will they take us in? Or will they shoot us on sight? We watch from the tree line until dark, studying the patrols, the gates, the defenses. There's an entrance on the south side, chain link gate reinforced with steel, guards stationed there, people coming and going occasionally, survivors returning from scavenging runs. I'm being checked before entry, screened for infection probably. We should go down there, Tyler says. Let them know we're here. In the dark, armed? That's asking to get shot. So what? We wait until morning? Yeah. We approach in daylight. Hands visible, non-threatening. Give them a chance to assess us, to decide we're not a threat. Tyler doesn't like it, but he agrees. We camp one more night. Cold, hungry, nervous. Below us, the lights of the refuge glow warm and inviting. So close, but still out of reach. Day 40. We wake before dawn and prepare. I stash most of my weapons. Keep just the knife visible. Don't want to look like a threat. Tyler has nothing to stash. He lost his pack somewhere during the chase yesterday. All he has are the clothes on his back. We move down the ridge as the sun rises. Slow, deliberate, hands visible. When we're about 100 yards from the gate, I stop, cup my hands, and shout. Hello, we're survivors, looking for refuge, don't shoot. Movement on the wall, rifle barrels swinging toward us. A voice calls back. Stop right there, get on your knees, hands on your heads. We comply, kneel in the mud, hands up, vulnerable, exposed. This is the moment. Either they help us or they kill us. No middle ground. Footsteps approaching. Multiple people, armed, surrounding us. Someone grabs my shoulder, pats me down, finds the knife, takes it. Same with Tyler. They're thorough, professional, military precision. Stand up, slowly. We stand. I get my first good look at them. 5 people. Mixed ages. Men and women. All armed, all wearing matching armbands. Blue with white cross. Medical symbol maybe, or just identification. You been bitten? One asks. Woman. Middle-aged, scar across her cheek. No. Exposed to infected blood. Not that I know of. Anyone in your group showing symptoms? Just the 2 of us. No symptoms. She looks at Tyler. How old are you, kid? 16. You with him? We met on the road. He helped me. She considers this. Exchanges looks with the others. Some silent communication I can't read. Then she nods. All right. You'll come with us. Quarantine for 72 hours. If you're not showing symptoms by then, you can enter the refuge proper. If you are showing symptoms, we put you down. Understand? We understand. Good. Follow me. Don't try anything stupid. They lead us through the gate, into the refuge. And for the first time in 40 days, I feel something I thought was gone. Hope. Real, tangible hope that maybe we're going to survive this after all. The refuge is bigger than I thought. They've cleared several blocks, built defenses, organized into zones, residential, medical, supply. There's a command center in what used to be the courthouse. People moving with purpose, working together, growing food, collecting water, maintaining generators. They take us to a building on the edge. Converted clinic. Inside are others in quarantine, maybe 10 people. All recent arrivals, all being watched, monitored, fed, kept safe but separated from the main population until they're cleared. We're assigned a room, small, 2 cots, a window with bars. Not exactly welcoming, but I understand the precaution. Can't risk letting infected into the refuge. One person turns and it's over. Everything they've built gone in hours. A medic comes by, young guy, tired eyes. He checks us over, takes our temperature, blood pressure, examines us for bites, scratches, any sign of infection. We're clean. He makes notes on a clipboard and leaves. Tyler collapses on his cot. We made it. We actually made it. Maybe. Still got 3 days. Still have to stay healthy. You really think they'd shoot us? If we got sick? Yeah, I do. They can't afford not to. He goes quiet, thinking about that. About how thin the line is between safety and death. How one wrong move, one unlucky exposure, and it's over. I lie on my cot and stare at the ceiling. My body is exhausted, but my mind is racing. 40 days. From the spill at Gentech to here. From denial to acceptance. From isolation to maybe community. Everything has changed. The world I knew is gone. Everyone I knew is probably dead. But I'm alive. We're alive. And that counts for something. A woman brings us food, real food, hot soup, bread. It's the best thing I've eaten since this started. Tyler wolfs it down, asks for seconds. The woman smiles and brings more. Eat up. You both look like you need it. What is this place? I ask. How did it start? The refuge? National Guard set it up in the first week, when things went to hell. They evacuated who they could here, built defenses. Then the Guard got called away, to the cities. Most didn't come back. Those that did brought more survivors. We just kept growing, kept organizing. Now we've got maybe 200 people. More coming every day. And you just let anyone in? If they're not infected, if they're willing to contribute, work, fight, protect the community, yeah, we need everyone we can get. She leaves us to eat. I process that. 200 people, organized, defended. It's more than I hoped for, more than I thought possible. Maybe humanity has a chance after all, or at least a small pocket of it. Here in the mountains, away from the major cities, the major outbreaks. The 3 days of quarantine pass slowly. We're examined twice a day, monitored constantly. They take blood samples, check for elevated white cell counts, neurological symptoms, anything that might indicate infection. We stay clean, healthy. By day 3, the medic seems satisfied. You're clear, he says. Welcome to the refuge. Someone will be by to assign you housing, jobs, get you integrated. Tyler grins. First real smile I've seen from him. We're in? Really? Really. Congratulations. You survived. We're moved to the residential zone, assigned to a dormitory with other singles, bunks, communal bathrooms, not luxurious, but better than the cabin, better than hiding in the woods. There are rules, lots of rules, work assignments, security rotations, rationing. But everyone seems to follow them. Everyone understands the stakes. I'm assigned to supply runs. My trucking background makes me useful. They need people who can drive, navigate, find resources in the ruins outside the refuge. Tyler gets assigned to farming, helping maintain the gardens, growing food. He's disappointed. Wanted something more exciting, but he doesn't complain. Just gets to work. The first few weeks are an adjustment, learning the routines, the hierarchy. The refuge has a council, elected leaders, democratic process for major decisions, military chain of command for security. It works surprisingly well. People cooperate. They've figured out that survival depends on unity, on working together. I meet the council leader, woman named Patricia, former mayor of Countersport. She's tough, no nonsense, but fair. She asks about my journey, how I survived. I tell her about the cabin, the horde, finding Tyler, the bandits. She listens carefully. Those bandits are a problem, she says. We've had encounters, lost people to them. They're based somewhere south, operating in the ruins, preying on survivors trying to reach us. What are you doing about it? What can we do? We're barely holding this together. Can't spare people for offensive operations. We just fortify, stay defensive. Hope they don't get organized enough to attack us directly. They will eventually, on groups like that. They'll exhaust easy targets. Then they'll come here, for supplies, for power. I know. That's why we're recruiting, training, building defenses. When they come, we'll be ready. I hope she's right. But I've seen what people are capable of, how fast civilization strips away. Those bandits aren't going to be easy to stop, not if they're smart, not if they're organized. But that's a problem for another day. For now, I focus on my assignments. Supply runs into the surrounding towns. We go in teams, 3 or 4 people, armed, careful. Hit pharmacies, hardware stores, food warehouses, anything that might have survived the looting. The runs are dangerous. Infected still roam the ruins, attracted by noise, movement. We've lost people. Careless moments, mistakes. But we keep going because the refuge needs supplies, needs medicine, needs everything we can scavenge from the dead world outside. On one run, we find a hospital, mostly intact. The infected inside are trapped behind security doors. We clear them systematically, room by room. It takes all day, but we find a mother lode. Antibiotics, painkillers, surgical supplies, equipment. Enough to keep the refuge going for months. We load it into the truck, drive back carefully. The weight makes the vehicle handle differently. I'm paranoid about breakdowns, about getting stuck, about attracting attention. But we make it back without incident. Patricia is thrilled. This is a major win. Extends our viability significantly. That night there's a celebration. Rationed alcohol, music, people relaxing, letting their guard down for a few hours. I sit with Tyler and watch. He's integrated well, made friends. He's laughing with other teenagers. For a moment, he looks like a normal kid, not a survivor of the apocalypse, just a 16-year-old having fun. I'm approached by a woman, Sarah. She's been at the refuge since the beginning. Lost her family in the first days. She's an engineer. Helps maintain the power systems, the generators, the solar panels. We talk. Just small talk at first. The weather, the work. But it's nice. Normal conversation. Human connection that isn't about survival or fear. Over the following weeks, Sarah and I become friends. Maybe more. It's complicated. The world ended. Normal dating rules don't apply, but we find comfort in each other. Someone to talk to share the burden with. It helps, makes the isolation less crushing. The refuge continues to grow. More survivors trickle in. We're up to 250 now. The council debates expansion, building new walls, clearing more blocks, creating farmland outside the immediate defenses. It's risky. Every expansion spreads resources thinner. But we need the space, the capability to be self-sufficient long-term. I volunteer for the expansion team. We work in shifts, building, fortifying. It's exhausting, dangerous. Infected still wander close. We have to clear them, defend the work crews, but slowly, steadily, the refuge grows, becomes more permanent, less a temporary shelter and more a real settlement. Then the scouts report movement. South, the direction the bandits operate from. Large group, maybe 40 people, armed, organized, moving toward the refuge. They're not hiding, not sneaking. This is deliberate, an approach, maybe an attack. Patricia calls an emergency council session. I'm invited because of my supply run experience, my knowledge of the area. The scouts show us maps. The bandit group is 2 days out, moving slow, bringing vehicles. Heavy weapons, maybe. This isn't a raid. This is a siege. We need to fight them off, someone says. Hit them before they get here. We don't have the numbers, Patricia counters. We're mostly civilians. They're fighters, predators. Going offensive is suicide. So we just wait, let them come to us? We defend, use our fortifications, make them pay for every inch, show them we're not worth the cost. The debate goes on for hours. Eventually, a plan forms. Full defensive posture, everyone armed. Lookouts doubled. Prepare for siege. Ration supplies. Get ready for a long fight. I'm assigned to the walls. Guard duty, rifle in hand. Watching the south approach. Any of the refugees behind me are scared. I can feel it. The tension. The fear. We thought we were safe here. That the worst was over. But safety is an illusion. Always has been. The bandits arrive on day 45 since I left Harrisburg. 45 days of survival, of adaptation, of learning to live in the new world. And now it's all at risk again. They park their vehicles out of rifle range, set up camp, wait, watching us, studying our defenses. For 2 days, nothing happens. Stalemate. They don't attack. We don't sally out. Just stare at each other across the no man's land between our walls and their camp. The psychological pressure is enormous. People are cracking, jumping at shadows, fighting among themselves. On day 3, they send a representative. One man, unarmed, walking toward the gate with a white flag. Patricia goes out to meet him. I watch from the wall. They talk for maybe 10 minutes. I can't hear what's being said, but I can see Patricia's body language. She's angry, refusing something. The man leaves, goes back to the camp. An hour later, they start shooting. Not at us. Into the air. Wasting ammunition, making noise, attracting every infected in the area. They're using them as weapons, drawing hordes toward the refuge, planning to let the infected do the work for them. It's brilliant and horrifying. Over the next hours, infected start appearing, drawn by the gunfire, the noise. They cluster around the walls, not attacking yet, just accumulating. By nightfall, there are hundreds, maybe 1,000, all around the refuge, pressing against the defenses, and more coming. We can't shoot them all, don't have the ammunition. The bandits know this. They're waiting, letting the pressure build, waiting for us to break, to try to flee. Then they'll pick us off, take whatever we have, kill whoever resists. Patricia makes a decision. We're going to break the siege, hit the bandit camp, small team, fast, destroy their vehicles, scatter their supplies, force them to abandon the siege. It's risky, probably suicidal, but it's better than waiting to be overrun. I volunteer, So does Sarah. And Tyler, against my protests. He wants to fight, to protect the refuge. Patricia approves him. Everyone fights. No exceptions. We need all the help we can get. The team is 12 people. Lightly armed, fast movers. We leave at midnight, slip out a side gate away from the infected, circle wide around them. Approach the bandit camp from the east. Downwind. Silent. The camp is poorly guarded, overconfident. They think we're trapped, waiting to die. We get close, set charges on their vehicles, thermite grenades on fuel tanks, time to go off simultaneously. Then we open fire on the camp. Chaos, bandits scrambling, not knowing where the attack is coming from. The charges blow, vehicles explode, fuel ignites. The camp turns into an inferno. We retreat fast. Back into the darkness, behind us screaming. Gunfire, confusion. We move toward the refuge, but not directly. Circle again. Come in from a different angle. Don't lead them back to the gate. It works. The bandits are in disarray. Their leadership is shouting orders, but no one is listening. Everyone is trying to save themselves. Put out fires, rescue wounded. They're no longer coordinated, no longer a threat. We slip back into the refuge, where the infected are still clustered around the walls, but they're not organized either. Just individuals, wandering. We clear a path with suppressed fire. Quiet shots, headshots. Get inside and lock the gate. Patricia is waiting. Did it work? Their vehicles are gone. Camp is burning. They're scattered. I don't think they'll regroup. She nods, exhausted relief on her face. Good. Everyone on the walls. If they try anything, we finish them. But they don't try anything. By dawn, the bandit camp is abandoned. Survivors fleeing south, back to wherever they came from. The infected lose interest without the noise and activity. Start wandering away, dispersing. By afternoon, the siege is over. We won. The cost is 2 dead from our team, caught in the crossfire during the retreat. Sarah was grazed by a bullet. A superficial wound, but it could have been worse. Tyler is unhurt, shaken. This was his first real combat, first time killing people. He's quiet, processing. I find him that evening, sitting alone, staring at nothing. You okay? I killed someone, he says. Maybe 2. I don't know. It was so fast, so chaotic. Yeah, it is. Does it get easier? No. But you learn to live with it, because the alternative is dying, or letting the people you care about die. We did what we had to do. He doesn't respond, just sits there. I leave him alone. Everyone processes trauma differently. He'll work through it. Or he won't. That's the reality now. Some people break, some people adapt. There's no predicting which. The refuge settles back into routine over the following weeks. Repairs, rebuilding, reinforcing lessons learned. The council debates what to do about other bandit groups, whether to send scouts, establish alliances with other refugee settlements, create a network, trade, mutual defense. I'm in favor. Isolation is dangerous long-term. We need allies, need to know what's happening beyond our walls. But others are cautious. Every contact is a risk, could bring infection, could bring threats. The debate continues. Meanwhile, I keep running supply missions, keep building, keep contributing. Sarah and I grow closer. Talk about the future, what that even means now. Can you plan for a future when tomorrow is uncertain? When the world is full of infected and dangerous survivors? We try anyway. Because what else is there? You can't live in constant fear, constant survival mode. At some point, you have to believe things will get better, that humanity will rebuild, that there's a reason to keep going beyond just not dying. Tyler integrates more, takes on responsibilities. He's not a kid anymore. None of us are. The apocalypse burned away innocence, left something harder, more capable. He's good at it. Natural leader. People listen to him, trust him. Patricia notices, promotes him to patrol leader, responsible for groups going outside the walls. It's dangerous work, but he excels. Brings everyone back safe. Multiple times. Builds a reputation, earns respect. Months pass. Summer arrives. Hot, humid. The infected slow down in the heat. Some even die. The virus doesn't handle temperature extremes well. We take advantage. Expand further. Clear more area. Plant more crops. Build more structures. The refuge is becoming a real town. Self-sufficient, stable. But the world outside is still chaos. Radio broadcasts from other settlements report constant threats. Infected, bandits, starvation, disease. Some settlements fall, overrun or abandoned. Others thrive. It's a patchwork. Isolated pockets of survival in a dead world. We make contact with a settlement 50 miles west. Trading post. They specialize in fuel refining. We have medical supplies. We negotiate and exchange. I lead the convoy. 6 vehicles. Armed escort. It's a 3-day round trip. Dangerous, but necessary. The trade goes smoothly. We meet their representatives at a neutral location. Exchange goods, intel, information about the region. They've had encounters with the same bandits, fought them off too. There's discussion of forming an alliance, coordinated defense, mutual support. And it's the first sign that maybe civilization is rebuilding. Slowly, in pieces, but rebuilding nonetheless. Networks forming, communities cooperating. The apocalypse didn't end humanity, just changed it. I return to the refuge with that knowledge. Share it with Patricia, with the council. There's cautious optimism. Talks of establishing regular trade routes, communication networks. Maybe even reclaiming some of the infrastructure. Power grids, water treatment. The things that made civilization possible before. It's a long-term project. Years maybe. But we have time. We've survived the worst. The initial outbreak, the chaos, the collapse. What comes next is rebuilding. Figuring out how to live in this new world. How to thrive instead of just survive. I think about that first day. I'm standing in the loading dock at Gentech, watching a drum of bioweapons spill on the concrete. If I had known, if I had raised the alarm, refused to transport it, would anything be different? Or was this inevitable? Was the world always heading toward this collapse and the virus was just the trigger? I don't know. Can't know. All I can do is keep moving forward. Keep working. Keep building. Keep believing that tomorrow will be better than today. That we can create something worth preserving from the ashes of what we lost. Sarah asks me one night if I ever think about going back. To the cabin. To my old life. I tell her no. There's nothing back there. The cabin is probably overrun by now. Or burned or looted. My apartment is gone. My job is gone. The old world is gone. This is home now. The refuge. These people. This new reality. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what survival means. Not clinging to what was, but embracing what is. Building what can be. Tyler tells me he wants to scout the cities, see what's left, if anyone survived. If there are pockets of resistance, refugee camps, government holdouts, I tell him he's insane. The cities are death traps, millions of infected, no resources, no escape routes. But he's determined. Sees it as a mission, a calling. I can't stop him. He's not a kid anymore. He makes his own decisions. But I make him promise to be careful. To come back, he promises. Whether he can keep it is another question. Winter comes again. The second winter since the outbreak. Colder than the first. Harder. But we're prepared this time. Stockpiled food, fuel, supplies. The refuge is fortified, insulated. We'll make it through. We've proven we can survive. On a quiet night in December, I'm on watch on the walls, looking out at the frozen landscape, the stars overhead. So many stars. No light pollution anymore. No cities glowing on the horizon, just darkness. Silence. The world as it was before humans. Before civilization. Before everything we built and lost. And I think about the journey. 40 days from the spill to the refuge. Then 8 months of building, growing, learning to live again. It's not the life I planned, not the future I imagined. But it's mine. Ours. The future we're creating from the ruins. Somewhere out there, infected still wander. Bandits still prey on the weak. The virus still infects. The world is still dangerous. Still deadly. But we're still here. Still fighting. Still surviving. And as long as that's true, there's hope. Real, tangible hope that humanity will endure. Will rebuild. Will remember what we lost and create something better from what remains. The radio crackles. A voice. Distant, faint. Another settlement checking in. Sharing news. Confirming they're still alive. Still holding on. I respond. Give our status. Confirm we're here. We're okay. We're making it. The conversation is brief, functional, but it matters. Because we're not alone. We're part of something bigger. A network of survivors. Communities scattered across the dead zones. Each one a light in the darkness. Each one proof that the end wasn't the end. Just a transition. A hard reset. A chance to start over and maybe get it right this time. I finish my watch and head inside. Find Sarah. Tell her about the radio contact. She smiles. We've been mapping the settlements, trying to understand the scope of survival. It's bigger than we thought. Thousands of people across the region, maybe hundreds of thousands globally. Enough to rebuild, enough to matter. We talk about the future, about what we want to build, not just structures and defenses, but systems, education, culture, the things that make us human beyond just staying alive. It's ambitious, probably naive. But we need goals, need something to work toward beyond survival. Tyler returns from his city scout 3 weeks later. He lost 2 people from his team, but he brings back valuable intel. The cities are mostly dead, overrun with infected. But there are pockets, fortified buildings, survivor groups, isolated, desperate, some hostile, some just trying to survive like us. He proposes rescue missions, extracting survivors, bringing them to the refuge, expanding our population, our capabilities. The council debates. It's risky, could bring threats, but it's also the right thing to do. We vote, narrowly approve, begin planning the missions. I volunteer to lead the first one. It's dangerous, probably stupid. But I remember being alone, scared, desperate. If we can save even one person, it's worth it. Sarah argues against it. She's worried, doesn't want to lose me, but she understands. She volunteers too. We'll go together, watch each other's backs. The mission is set for spring, when the weather improves, when travel is easier. Until then, we prepare. Train, plan routes, identify targets, build the infrastructure to support integration of new arrivals, quarantine facilities, housing, jobs. The refuge has to grow to accommodate, to evolve. It's ambitious, maybe too ambitious. But ambition is what separated us from the infected. They just exist. React, consume, we plan, build, create. That's what makes us human, what makes us worth saving. On the anniversary of the outbreak, I stand on the walls and look south. toward Pittsburgh, toward Gentech, toward the loading dock where it all started. A year ago, I was just a trucker, living a normal life, complaining about normal problems. Now I'm a survivor, a builder, part of something that might actually matter. The memorial service is quiet, solemn. We list the names of those we've lost, friends, family, strangers who became family. The list is long, too long. But we say each name, honor each person. Remember that they were real, that they mattered, that their deaths meant something even if their lives were cut short. Tyler speaks, or he's become a leader, a voice for the younger generation. He talks about resilience, about not letting the virus win, about building a future worthy of those we lost. It's a good speech, genuine. He means every word. Patricia speaks too, about community, about cooperation, about the choice to be human instead of animals. She challenges us to be better, to rise above the base instincts of survival, to create something beautiful from the ugly reality we live in. I don't speak. I'm not good with words. But I listen. I absorb. I commit to the work ahead, the missions, the building, the growth. Because that's what I can do, what I'm good at. Actions, not words. The service ends. People drift away, back to their tasks, their lives. The work never stops. Can't stop. There's always something to do, something to fix, something to build. It's exhausting, but it's purposeful, meaningful. That's enough. Sarah and I walked the perimeter that night, hand in hand, talking about small things, normal things, a garden she wants to plant, a book she found on a supply run, plans for a communal space where people can gather, socialize, be human. These moments matter. The quiet times, the normal times. They're what we're fighting for. Not just survival, but life. Real life, connection, joy, hope. The things that make existence worthwhile. We reach the south gate and stop. Look out at the darkness beyond. Somewhere out there, the world is still dying. Infected still roam. Threats still exist. But here, in this moment, behind these walls, we're alive, we're safe, we're together. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's victory. Not defeating the virus, not reclaiming the old world, but creating a new one. Building communities, networks, civilization from scratch. Different from before, but still worth protecting. Still worth fighting for. I think about the cabin, about Jerry's preparation, his survivalist mindset. He'd be proud. Proud that his legacy helped someone survive, helped create this. A refuge not just for me, but for hundreds. A seed that might grow into something bigger. I also think about Dale, about the new guy at Gentech, about their choice to cover up the spill, to load that damaged drum. Their actions killed millions, ended the world. But they didn't do it maliciously. They just made a mistake. A terrible, catastrophic mistake. Can I forgive that? I don't know. Probably not. But I can understand. Human error, corporate pressure, the desire to avoid consequences. It's all so mundane, so ordinary, and it destroyed everything. That's the lesson, the takeaway. We're fragile. Our civilization is fragile, built on trust and systems and the assumption that people will do the right thing. When they don't, when shortcuts are taken, when mistakes are hidden, it all falls apart, fast. So we build differently now, transparently, collectively, with safeguards and redundancies. We can't afford another collapse, can't risk another outbreak. The cost is too high. These are the thoughts I carry as we return to our quarters, as we settle in for the night. Sarah sleeps beside me. Tyler is in the next building over. The refuge is quiet, peaceful, protected. Tomorrow I'll wake up and do it again. Check defenses, plan missions, build infrastructure, work toward a future that seems impossible, but isn't. Because we're doing it, day by day, brick by brick, person by person. That's survival, not a moment, not a decision, but a process, ongoing, endless, until it isn't, until we've built enough, grown enough, secured enough, that the struggle becomes maintenance, that we can finally rest. We're not there yet, might never be, but we're trying, and in this world, in this reality, trying is everything. It's the difference between giving up and pushing forward, between accepting death and demanding life. I close my eyes and let sleep take me. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new threats, new opportunities. But tonight, right now, we're okay. We're alive. We're building something worth preserving. And that's enough. That has to be enough. Because it's all we have. All any of us have. The present moment. The determination to see another day. The hope that somewhere beyond the darkness light is returning. And we're the ones bringing it back. One candle at a time, until the world glows again. Different from before. But still glowing. Still alive. Still ours. Thanks for watching, guys. I will be back with another story.